Hello there, my name is Jrej, and today I want to show you the process for the hidden settings collection using the Sugar protocol from Metaplex. So you can make your own collection on Solana, and if you want to make it for cheap, that's the video for you, because one of the big advantages from the hidden setting process is that you don't pay for the rental fees when you create a candy machine, and you also avoid the Arweave upload fees if you use something like NFT storage. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'll show you the whole process. Here on the desktop, I have all the images I need. I have a very small collection of 3 images, 3 Titan dogs. You might already know this collection from my previous videos, but that's basically dogs in Titans. That's the one I did for 1,000 items back in January. And it gives you access to a few benefits that I'll explain later. But let's do this template on the DevNet so I can show you the process. A few things that we will need before we start is to install VS Code. So if you don't have that on your computer, I'd recommend this editor. You can download for Windows here. Then if you don't have Solana installed, you should also install Solana. So you can find that on the docs.solana.com. I'll put on all the links in the description below if you want. But basically, you go to the Windows, open a command line on administrator, then copy this command, the curl command to download the Solana install file, and then it would be the next one that is using this install file to install the version 1.10.42. Okay, it has downloaded, so let's use it to install it. I have it already installed, but just so you know how to do it. Anyway, this is good. We have that. Let's press OK. Okay, and we can have a look at the config already. Sorry, probably you want to close the tab, close the window, and open a new one, and do Solana -- version to verify you have it installed. You should always reopen the terminal because for the path to be detected, the Solana path. Okay, and then you do Solana config get, and so you see your config, and you should create a key pair, and then we can set the RPC URL to DevNet. Let's create a key pair. That will be Solana keygen new output, and then we use the output, the usual one, users, then username, then .config /Solana /key pair. All right, and the password, and that's the public address from your wallet. Let's set that up in the config, Solana config set, and then the key pair, and then we would add this path to the key pair here. The second thing will be Solana config set, and then the URL. And for the URL, we can put the DevNet URL for this example, but on mainnet, obviously, that will be mainnet beta. But this is devnet.solana.com. And okay, you can see I already had it, but it would show here, and then the key pair would show here. And then you can do Solana airdrop 1. So that's because it's on the DevNet, you can airdrop yourself some Sol. Otherwise, if you were on mainnet, you would do Solana address and then send some Sol to this address. Okay, let's see the balance. We should have 1. There it is. Okay, so this part of the process is done. We've set up the Solana config and the key pair. So we're good. We can close that. Next phase is the Metaplex phase. So if you go to the Metaplex docs in Tools, Sugar, you can go to Installation and then grab the W installer from their website. So you click here, that will download the file. Okay, let's keep the docs open because we'll need them later. Let's go to the downloads. So this file by default wouldn't be recognized by Windows as an official software. So you would need to click right and then go to Properties. And then here you would tick the box and unblock. It says unblock. So then apply. And at this point, you can then run it, and that would install the Sugar CLI on your computer. So it has installed, it closes everything. And when you launch a new command line, you would type sugar and then help, and then that would give you all the information. You can also do dash version, I guess. But anyway, that's installed, so we're happy about that. All right, next phase. Let's prepare the assets for the collection. Let's go to the website nft.storage. And then we need to find the application. So let's go down here to NFT up application. And then you can download it for Windows. Download it. So we're done with that. Let's open the downloads again. And you should have soon this file. All right. Okay, it does the same thing than the other. So also go to property and then unblock. Otherwise, you'll have this Windows message. I have it installed already, so probably won't do anything now. And then once it's installed, you have this opening up. So very basic Windows where you can drag and drop some files. Let's close this and keep this NFT up running. Let's create a new folder called NFT. Let's put everything inside. All right. Then in this folder, let's organize everything. So we have the hidden, we'll do hidden folder with the hidden image that I've created. It's a lovely image, right? Anyway, here then we'll do the collection. That's these 3 items. You probably will have more in your own collection. And then finally, that's assets. That's the official folder that Sugar CLI would look for. So this one should be called assets. The other one, you can call them whatever you like. And then it will put inside the collection that should be named collection. So we're good. All right. Now that we have done that, let's first start with the hidden assets. We should create a JSON file that goes with it. So while I was talking, I just opened Visual Studio Code. You can also open it from the Start menu. All right, and let's do this JSON file. So let's do new file, and then we'll copy paste the template from Metaplex. So in preparing your assets, if you go down to metadata, we can use this metadata here. And we'll paste it here. All right, what do we want to do? We want to put the name of our NFT. In my case, it'll be Titan Dog. And then do a space. Because after the space, it would add hashtag and then the number, hash and number. That will be done automatically. So we want a space for it to look nice. So Titan Dog, and then you'll see once it's done, I'll show you. Anyway, then you want a symbol, and then let's do collection of Titan Dogs on the blockchain. So this is the hidden metadata. So they're going to receive that with the image of the question mark. And then you would later do a reveal of the final art. So in the second phase, like at the end of the mint, you would collect all the hashes of the NFTs and then reveal the actual metadata and the actual image. So let's do as the collection of ducks. This is the hidden asset, the hidden NFT, whatever. Right? Not yet. Okay, and then it is the image we don't know yet. So we'll put URI, and then here URI as well. Some things that Metaplex have not mentioned in the documentation, it is that we need to add a couple things in the metadata. It is category image and this part in the properties. So we should do comma and then category image. And then underneath, we should add the seller fee. So underneath properties, comma again, and then add the seller underscore fee underscore basis underscore points. And then 500 will correspond to 5% commission on secondary sale. And then, for example, if you want to put 10%, we could put 1,000. Right, let's do a 10%. And then we'll save it as hidden.json. Okay, so we can upload the image and then we'll update the URI with the image we've uploaded. So let's do that. Let's go back to hidden here and then upload our lovely image of a question mark. All right, it gives us this gateway URL. Let's go test it out. And that's a file structure. So we can copy this one and then put it here. And actually the attributes, we can remove that. There should be no attributes. All right, now that we've done that, we can now send it to IPFS to NFT storage, so we can upload it, dragging and dropping the file. And then we'll save this this address. So let's just try it out before we save it. That's this one /hidden.json. Okay, there it is, and let's save that. This will fill in the config file of the Ken machine, so as a temporary file. Otherwise, we can close that, and we'll use the metadata again for the rest of the collection. Let's do that right now. Let's load that, and go back here to the assets, the collection. This hidden, we've finished with the hidden assets. Let's go have a look at the actual collection items. For each item, we should create JSON file. So let's do 0.json. The assets should start from 0 to the number of NFTs minus 1. You could also do 1 to, in that case with the hidden settings, since it doesn't go through the Ken machine, you can basically do whatever you want, but it's the common setup to start with 0. Okay, and then you would copy the metadata again. So I have the metadata here, copying that, and let's this time put in the number, Titan dog 1. And I'm doing that manually, but obviously if you're doing your own collection and you have 1,000, this should be done automatically, right? The Titan dog, collection of Titan dogs. I'll copy paste that afterwards. This is number 1 out of 3. And then we'll update that afterwards. So I'll leave it like that for now. And then the assets, the attributes, let's just do 1. We have background orange. But obviously you'd have many attributes here, and that would be generated when you create the image, that you would generate the metadata as well at the same time. And then just like the previous one, it is missing two lines in this metadata from Metaplex. So in the properties on the file, same thing, the category image, and the seller fee basis point, that is after the properties. Right, and we said that we would put 10%. And let's copy everything and then do a new one. 1.json. Copy everything. This is the number 2 out of 3, and then this is 1.png. And let's leave the 10%. Ready for another one? let's create a new file, 2.json, last one, and then third, 3 out of 3. It's an extra rare collection. People are going to fight for this one. All right, and forgot the background that is blue for this one, and I think the previous one was blue as well. Blue as well. All right. Okay, so we're done with that part. Let's have a look at the files. We should first upload the images, and then we'll upload the JSON files. You'll see why in a minute. So there it is. Let's go to this link. And you'll see, so it treats it as a folder, and then you have the images. So let's save this link. So that's basically, you could copy this link. I just wanted to try. And then we want in the JSON file to change this number to the link that we have here. So let's go and do the research, and then we'll research image, double quote, then column, and then space, double quote. Okay, so we're looking for image, well, this. And then we'll replace it with the same thing, image, space, and then the link, and the slash, of course. Right. So we'll replace with the link slash 0.png, and then it would close the string. So we can do that for everything. So you place this button here, replace all, and it says you want to do that in 3 files. Yes, I do. And then we want to do the same thing with URI. So you replace image by URI, and that would do the same thing underneath here in the files object, in the file object. And so you do the replace all again. Okay, so we're done with the replace. And then if we look at the files, we verify, we do have here image and then the link slash the number. Okay, we can also double check that this is working, even though we've seen it before, but we want to make sure. All right, that looks good. That's on IPFS, and that's loading fast. That's brilliant. Okay, now that we've done that, let's upload these to the NFT up again. So we'll select just the JSON files. We've done the images already. Let's do JSON files. Then let's save this one. So that was hidden, and then for the collection, that is this one. And then we'll save the CID. All right, I'll show you how we're gonna use that. And we're done with the uploads. We don't have anything else to upload. The last one will be through the Candy machine, the collection. Okay, so now we've done that, we finally go to the assets folder, that is the final folder for the collection. Then open VS Code one more time in this folder, and then we'll do the collection JSON file, and we'll be done with the JSON file. So new file, collection.json, and then we'll paste our collection metadata. So I had prepared that, but basically Titan dogs, then that changed the description. We were looking for an image called collection, so that's correct, collection.png. And then category image, this is to add as well. And then the seller fee, that was 1,000. What can I mention? Yes, there's 3 types that are accepted with the Candy machine, that are JPEGs, PNGs, and GIF. So you could do one of the 3 for your collection. Okay, so that looks good. And so now we can finally start the config file. So we're back to the NFT folder. Let's open a command line, and then we'll cd into that folder. So I'm just copying this path and then doing cd to this path, and we're in the NFT folder. And then let's do sugar launch. and it says we don't have a config file. Well, let's create one. I'll press Y for yes, and then it'll ask me a bunch of questions and we can set it up. So what would be the price of this NFT? Let's do 0.1 for the testing. How many NFTs? So for a hidden setting collection, you would set the number of NFTs to 0. So let's do 0. What's the symbol? T-dot. What is the seller fee basis point? 1,000. Now the date, you can choose a future date. Well, if you have your own token and you want to let people buy your NFTs with it, you can use this. But in our case, we'll only use hidden settings here. All right, press enter. So that was space to select the option and then I press enter. And then what is our sole treasury address? So that's my wallet again. What is the prefix of your hidden settings mint? So in that case, that's the title of the NFT. So I'll put Titan Dogs, and then you would do the space. So just like we did in the metadata for then the candy machine to add automatically the hash 1, hash 2, like the index of the NFT. So Titan Dogs and then the space. Okay. And then what's the URI that you want to use for the mint? So that's where we take our notes here and then grab the hidden settings, the hidden.json that we've uploaded earlier, and you can paste here. What is the hash value of the hidden settings? That is a good question. What is the hash value? So for that part of the process, there's I'll show you the manual way, and then I'll show you the script that I've made for holders of my collection. But let's go through the manual way. Let's open Visual Studio Code again, then doing a new file. We'll take the link here to that's the link to our final items of the collection. And what we want to do is an array of all the JSON files that are for the collection. So this would include a string, so double quotes, and then you would add the link to the JSON files that we have uploaded earlier, and then slash the index of the JSON file. And then we'll do that 3 times for the 3 items we added to the collection. So comma, and then just the last one doesn't have a comma, so 2.json and no comma. And so that's basically the format you want, an array of 3 URIs for the JSON file. And then we want to go to an MD5 encryptor. So if you type MD5 encoder, for example, you can find like the first one, MD5 hash generator. I'll put that on the description. And then you paste it here and do generate. And that's going to give you MD5 hash here. That's going to be your hash for the hidden settings. Basically, what it is that it's a way for people to verify that you haven't changed the assets in the meantime. So you can put in the same assets afterwards and show that it hasn't moved. It's the same number that goes out. This is kind of a security for the collection. Anyway, this is what we want to paste here. But let's have a look at it through my own script. That is a little easier to do. If you have a Titan Dog, that's a helpful tool. If you go to the Titan Dogs GitHub, the private GitHub, you have the hidden setting helper. And then we can copy that link to the GitHub, open new terminal here, and do git clone the tool. Let's close that for now. We'll open it in new Visual Studio Code. There's an env file to copy. So you rename it .env. And here you want to put in the gateway. So that is this address here before the CID without the last slash, like this. And then you would put the CID here. and then the number of NFTs, in our case, is 3, and then we have DevNet, right? We open a new terminal, do yarn. If you don't have yarn installed, you would open a new terminal and install global yarn. This would install yarn globally on your computer, but I have it already installed, so it's running, it's installing the dependencies. And then we'll use the create hash script here. That does basically the same thing that we've done manually, but it uses a CID, creates the array with every index, and then gets the MD5 hash. So if we do node create hash.js, in the .cache folder, you can see the list of all the JSON files, and then the hash here. You might say that is a little different from the one we've created manually. That's because of the spaces. Here you see it's all minimized, there's no space, and so it creates this specific hash. Instead of here, I have it with spaces. That's all right. We can copy either, as long as you keep the reference from the beginning. That's fine. Let's copy that. So that was 2 ways to do the hash the manual way and the script way. So if you have a Titan dog, you can benefit from that specific script, but it's not mandatory. Anyway, let's continue. All right, and then it asks us what upload method. In that case, we have only one file. We can use our weave, so the first one, pressing space. You can also use NFT storage. They would ask you for the API key, so we need to log in and grab the API key. So it's a little longer process, but in that case, let's use our weave. There wouldn't be much to pay since it's only one file. Then they would ask, do you want the authority? Yes, I do. Do you want the NFT to be mutable? Yes. And then it launches the candy machine. So since it's a hidden settings collection, it would skip the part where it updates some metadata on the blockchain, and therefore avoiding the rental fee on the blockchain and the costs associated with it. You just create the candy machine, and when you mint, you receive the NFT with the hidden JSON that we've set up earlier, but there's no metadata on chain. Okay, that's done. We basically created the candy machine, but if we do sugar show, you'll see that we have number 0. Max supply 0, and if you mint, it would say the same thing. So before we actually go ahead and mint, we should go back to the JSON file, to the config file, and in the config file, we should change the number to whatever we want. In our case, it is 3. So one thing to keep in mind is that we can change that to whatever we want. We can start with 3, and then we sold out, and then we can add like 50 more. This is mutable. You can change it as much as you want, since everybody's going to receive the same image, and then it's only at the end, at the reveal, that you reveal all your images. All right. So let's set it up to 3 because we have 3 NFTs. We can close that, and then we'll do sugar update. So we pay an extra transaction, not much, but it is updated. And let's do sugar show. And once again, to verify that we do have now 3 items in our collection. Okay, everything looks good. I think we're pretty much done with the collection. I'll show you the 2 ways that you can mint this token. Let's first have a look at the command line. By using the command line, you can also mint before the launch date. And one thing to keep in mind as well is that when you mint, you pay for the NFT transaction fee, the minting fee, and the token accounts. So when you mint for yourself, you would actually pay 0.001 0.12 Sol. So it's not free to mint it, but you can set up a minting app and give the link to people so they can mint them themselves. Let's mint it so you can see. Let's go first have a look at the balance. How much did it cost us to do this collection? Basically nothing. Is 0.03, and let's calculate that. So $1.20. That's great. And then let's mint one here. So you can do sugar mint. If you wanted more than one, you would put N for number and then add how much you want. But let's do mint one here. Mint. So it's minting with the wallet that is set up in the config. So in our case, it's minting with the key pair wallet. All right, and if we do SPL token accounts, there it is. So we have one is the collection, the other one is the token. We can actually go see it in the, let's go have a look at it in the wallets. But for that, I need to import my key pair into my Phantom wallet, and I'll show you that. All right, there is, I'm in the users username .config Solana, and then with this the key pair we've created for this example. I'll open it, and as you can see inside, let's close that. We can see inside all the binaries that makes up the key pair. So that's a secret part of the key pair. You shouldn't show that to anyone, but that's an example, so I wouldn't use that for the mainnet. But let's open a new page, and then the new wallet, and then do add wallet, import private key, type key pair, and then paste here everything, the bracket, the square brackets, and the numbers into the private key, and then import. And we are in DevNet, but otherwise in network, and then you can choose DevNet here, so you can see the NFT. And if you go to collectibles, you'll see that we have the collection that we've created with the collection image, but we also minted our hidden token. So this is the hidden NFT with the hidden image. All right, that looks good. Here's how they did the title. So you remember we did the Titan dog space, and then they added the #1 afterwards. If we do the second one, it'd be #2. Let's do another one. We can use now the minting app from Metaplex. So if you go to program, let's see. If you go to guides and then Candy Machine minting UI, here you can go to the repo, and then you can use this URL here. You do copy, and then on the desktop, let's close all that. Let's open a new terminal and do git clone, and then paste the URL that we found in the GitHub, and then enter, and that would clone the Candy Machine. Let's put it in our collection of the folders here, and then let's open that with the VS Code. If you don't have the shortcuts, that's not a problem. You can open Visual Studio Code through the start. Again, here you do terminal, new terminal, and you would do yarn to install dependencies again. While it's doing that, let's create the env file. We copy paste and then call it .env. And then in this env file, we only need the Candy Machine ID. So where do we find that? We go back to the NFT folder where we use the Sugar protocol, and then we go to the cache file. And you'll find in the cache file all the information about the Candy Machine you've created. If you press Alt-Shift-F, it would reformat the cache file into something a little nicer. You'll find here all the items. This is the collection item. that we created. And then the candy machine ID is all here. So you have ID, you have creator, and then you have the collection. So let's grab the first one, that is the ID. Let's open this one and then paste the candy machine ID here. All right, save. And we are on DevNet, so we'll leave that as DevNet here. While it's continuing to download, I should mention something about the logs. It did go flawlessly here with our collection, but there could be some details that give you some error message. And if you have error message, you should go to the sugar.log. This is created automatically when you launch the sugar launch command. And in that file, you'll find all the logs of the creation, including all the errors. So if you're stuck somewhere, it would mention it in the sugar.log. It could be a little overwhelming, all these files, but just go to the last line, and in the last line you should have the latest error, and this should point you to the problem. For example, I had errors with the assets because of the category missing, the seller fee basis point missing, since it was not in the documentation. I had to add that. So I had errors for that. I had errors because the symbol was not equivalent between here and the config file. And then seller fee was not the same. You could have various errors like that if your metadata is not not well formatted. So just check the sugar log for that. Let's go back to the candy machine. All right, that's all done. So now we can do yarn start, and that should start this web app as in the local host. So that's an app in React. So you'll find all the information in all the source code in source, in home, and see most of the code is here in the return here. Okay, there it is. You can connect your wallet here. Let's connect our KeyPair wallet. There it is. And then you see that we have 2 remaining. The date is already passed because I had set up now. So we can already mint a few. So let's mint 1. And so you have here the detailed transaction. You can see that we're paying the 0.1, but it's the same wallet that would collect the money, so this cancels it out. But we do pay the 0.01 of NFT fees, and then the 0.002 of token account. So that's what we're paying for each NFT. And then congratulations, you minted. But let's refresh that. Let's open the wallet. If we go in collectibles, we should see 2 of the hidden NFTs, and there it is, 2 of these. All right, I wonder what's behind it. All right, let's. How about we reveal that? Let's grab the last one. Might have to refresh. There it is. Okay, let's grab the last one to have the full reveal of everything. Okay, and then it's sold out. There's no more NFTs. Okay, we are up to 3. Okay, what should we do next to reveal? So basically, in the process, you would open this mint for a certain time. People are minting the NFTs. They get these reveal images, and then they can already see it in Magic Eden, in OpenSea. They can see this hidden NFTs instead of the actual NFTs. And then you would set up a reveal date. You'd say, why in a week I'll reveal everything. And so then on your end you would go into Metaboss and then update the metadata of all the NFTs. So how do we do that? So first, to use Metaboss, let's close all this, and we should install Rust. So let's grab the Metaboss documentation, and then the link to the Rust install. All right, so that's the GitHub of the Metaboss. Let's grab this code here. So we grab the HTTPS address like we did before, open a new terminal, and then do git clone, and then the address of Metaboss, and press enter. And then when you go on the README file, so underneath here, it should tell you to install Rust. So that's the address here. Let's open a new terminal, and let's actually open it as administrator to be sure it's not locked by anything, and then pasting this curl script. And then it asks you, do you want to proceed with the installation? And let's press 1. And here it should take a couple minutes to install Rust on your computer. Okay. We've installed Metaboss on the computer, and then we're installing Rust as well. Okay, so let's press enter here. Let's open Metaboss with the Visual Studio Code. And then if we look at the GitHub again, there's this command here, cargo install --path, and then the root folder. Let's open a terminal. So I'm doing Control and U, but that's new terminal here. Okay, and then press this command. So you know, this command takes quite a while to install. So we're basically compiling all the Rust files into executables. So it would take up to 10 minutes to run this. So yeah, be prepared. Let's run it. All right, so it's all done compiling. Let's have a look at the documentation on the Metaboss. If you go into the docs folder, you'll find all the docs. What we're interested in here is the snapshot. So we'll open that in the browser, and then we're also interested in the update. So we should do one after the other. Basically, we want to update the metadata. So we want to use the update all, because we want a list of all the mint accounts and then update them with a new metadata URI. So that's the command we want to use. But you notice here that we need a list of all the mint accounts. And for this, we need to use snapshot. And so in snapshot, you go to snapshot mints here at the end, and then you would use this command here with the candy machine ID, and you would get an array of all the mint addresses here. So let's go let's go ahead and use this one. We'll open a new notepad and then update this address. What we need is the candy machine ID. So if you remember, if we go back to the NFT folder in the cache file, that's where all our candy machine information is. So the first one was the candy machine ID, and that's the one we need. So we'll just copy it, and then we'll go back to the notepad and replace candy machine ID template here by the actual candy machine. And then the output folder, we'll just put the root folder. That would do. If we go back to Metaboss, we can now run this command in the terminal. Let's run this Metaboss snapshot mints, and then creator, put the candy machine ID, v2, and then the output folder, that is the root folder. Let's run this, and you'll see that it does mention that it is a heavy task and that you would need an RPC for better performances. Here's DevNet. We don't have much NFTs, so we don't need an RPC. But if you want mainnet with a lot of NFTs, you would do something like QuickNode. They have a free plan. You can get an HTTPS address for your RPC. That is basically a server that communicates with the blockchain that is more efficient than the public RPC that are provided. So you get the HTTP address, and you would set it in the config. So with Solana config set, and then --URL, and you would put your HTTPS address here as the RPC. You'll see it in the config afterwards. And that would then use it for these actions that are the snapshot, the update of the metadata. So that's all for mainnet, but here on DevNet, we don't need all that, and that's already done. So if we look into the files, we have this new file, and I'll press Alt-Shift-F again to format it. And you see that we have all the mint addresses of the Candy machine. Remember, if we can close Snapshot. If we go to update, we need this format for the JSON file. So let's copy this template, open a new file, and I'll show you how to do it manually. Obviously, for a bigger collection, there is I have a script to do it automatically, and that's available for holders of the collection through the hidden setting helper that I showed earlier. But I'll show you first manually so you understand the concept, and you can do it yourself if you wish. So we just basically copy the mint addresses here in this first key, the mint account. We have 3 of them, so I'll just create 3, and then we'll copy each one of them in these section. Doing that is not very complicated. It's basically just a simple loop going through each item and then putting into an object that has this format. And then we need to update this part with the correct URI that we've set up. So this we don't need, but if we go back to the notepad, we had written down the URI that we needed before. So that's this URI, and then there was the 0.json first. Then we have the 1.json, and finally the 2.json. Okay, and this is basically the format that we want, and we'll save it as update metadata. Doesn't matter, we can choose any name we want, just for the matter of simplicity. So now that we've done it manually, let's have a look at the script to do it programmatically. So we just want to save the CID. So let's go back to the script in the hidden settings helper. And for this, in the .env file, we would update here the CID. So I had it in a notepad written, so I'll just copy that. And then the gateway, that is this first part with the IPFS, but without the slash, as this part here. Okay, and then we have the mint address list. So then this is the template file, so just an example, it's not the correct information. If you go back here to this file, we should replace with this information that are the mint addresses of our NFTs. I'm saving, and then with all that information I can do node, then create update file .gs. That is this script just here. And that uses the DevNet endpoint and then creates the URI update. That is the same exactly as the manual process that we did. One thing that I note is that in this script, I'll also check that the title of the NFT has the same index as the number here. It should be the same automatically, but it's an extra layer just to check that it fits well. Okay, but since we have made it manually and it's already in the Metaboss folder, let's go check it there. That's just a tool that could help you out during your collection. That's available to holders of the collection. If you want to support the Titan Dogs team, that's great. Anyway, we have this file, it's called update metadata, so let's use that. If we go back to the command, let's copy the command. And just copy it here. We'll put the address of the key pair here, that is C users Jrej.config. Obviously that will be your username, not mine, and then that was the key pair.json. This is we're looking for the key pair that has authority on the collection. And then the JSON file was the update_metadata.json. Okay, that's the command we should write. And then with that, it should update the NFTs with the metadata in this JSON file. Let's run it. Once again, it does mention that we need the RPC URL for better performances, but here we're on DevNet, so not necessary. And it says it's all done, so we should now go have a look in our wallet, see if we find the NFTs revealed. That's the moment of truth. Let's open that up on the key pair and on the collectibles. So there it is. Great. So the Titan dogs are revealed. You have the metadata information, the background with the attribute, the lovely art. Everything's there. And we can even go have a look at it on SoulScan. We do have the 10%. A wallet as creator. Okay, it all looks good. Our collection is revealed, and we can now focus on starting the community and making some awesome tools for our collection. Right, we've gone through the whole process of the hidden setting collection. We can close all of these. So if you remember correctly, we updated the metadata of each image. We uploaded everything on NFT storage separately. So first the hidden setting assets, and then the whole collection. Then we launched Sugar CLI to make the collection with the number 0. Then we updated to 3, and then we minted them, and then we used Metaboss to update the metadata. That was the whole process, and if you follow the steps, you'll be able to do the same. Before we go, I wanted to talk a little bit about my own collection called Titan Dogs. As you've understood through the video, that's a community of developers. I provide through the private GitHub some tools that would be helpful for you during your NFT journey. As you've seen, there's the hidden setting helper. There is also a soul giveaway. There's a raffle tool, some templates for your website. There's a minting button for WordPress. A ton of little tools that can help you along the way. And I also take suggestions from you guys, from the holders, for upcoming videos and scripts that could be helpful. So yeah, a very strong community, and people are very active in the Discord answering any questions. The second thing for the Titan Dogs collection is the play to earn game. So each NFT is a character in the game. So that's a strategy game that is turn-based and collaborative. So every player is playing against a computer. I'll be opening up the game to other collections for them to join in and pilot the Titans with their own NFT collection. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions at all, you can leave them in the comments below. And that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.